I'm just letting you guys know you guys are going to like this particular assignment. It's going to be super, super easy. In fact, they kind of give you a little bit of idea of what to do. So we're going to try to figure out what TJ could have written as a result from step 3. So we're just going to work it to step 3. So we've got two parentheses. X plus 6 squared minus 5 equals 45. Now, if you were to work this problem, the very first thing that you would do is you would add 5 to both sides. That's what you would do to start out, okay? So if you add 5 to both sides, what do you end up getting? You end up getting this right here, okay? So we're going to bring down our result from the very first step, which is just to do what? Add 5 to both sides, and you get 50. Now, after the result of the next step, all you got to do is to divide both sides by 2. And when you divide both sides by 2, 2 divided by 2, they cancels out. 50 divided by 2, what do you get? You get 25. Look, you get this step. So now we're at what? X plus 6 squared equals 25. Now, you don't have to do all this, all right? I'm not going to do this on all the problems. I'm just doing this on the first problem. I want you to understand that the first step gets you this. The second step gets you this. The third step, what would you guys say would be the correct thing to do on step number 3? I'm not going to give you any hints. Yes, right. We're going to take the square root of this side. We're going to take the square root of this side. Now, this is going to be our answer. We're looking for an answer that should have x plus 6. But what should be the result of this side? Not just a 5, but a plus or minus 5. This is what I'm going to be looking for as a result of step 3. X plus 6 equals a plus or a minus 5. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. See if hopefully there's one there. X equals, ooh, anybody see an answer that looks right? Ding, 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 ding. You guys see? Look. There it is. There it is. There it is. Nailed it. Okay. Now, right here, we don't have to write down everything, okay? So right now, I am just going to write down right here, which is x plus 2 squared equals 16. All right? Now, if Pam did this correctly, she would have taken the square root of both sides, and right here it should be x plus 2 equals plus or minus 4. Not just a 4, it should be what? Plus or minus 4. So which step do you think she made the first error? Do you think she made it in step 1 or step 2? What do you guys think? Step 1. I agree. Because if she would have put plus or minus 4, that would have been fine. But she didn't. She just put a 4. So I'm going to say step 1. Woohoo! All right, cool. All right. In which step did Cyrus, my apologies, Cyrus, please don't hate me. All right, so here we go. So I'm not going to make you guys write down everything on this one. What I'm going to do is let you know exactly what should have happened. In step 1 right here, we should have taken a 3 and multiplied both sides by 3, and that's this step right here. So step 1 is looking good, okay? So if you have a third, oh, for students who are like, what the heck did you just do? If you have a third right here, what's the reciprocal of a 1 over 3? The reciprocal is what? 3 over 1. That's why I multiplied both sides by 3. So what happens? These cancel out, and 12 times 3 is 36. All right? Now, ooh, I think I know where Cyrus made an error, and it wasn't just his name. All right. When I say me saying his name. Okay, so here we go. Right now, what should you do from step 1 to step 2? What should you do? What do you think? Take square root. That's right. Boom. Boom. So when we take the square root, we get x minus 1 equals, what should be the answer right here? Not just a 6. How many times do I have to say it? It's not just a 6. It's a plus or a minus. Ding, 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 ding. So where did he make an error? Step number 2. Because what should this have been? That should have been a what? A plus or a minus 6. All right. Step 2. All right, and that's all you guys got to do. You got to find the error. Now, when you do it, what was my strategy? What did I do? I just simply what? Work through the problem to see what there should be, and I figure out where the error was. So that's the first one. The next one's going to be even more fun. I like this one. This is my favorite one. Check this out. By the way, you don't have to. By the way, you don't have to take any notes. Just watch what happens. All right, you guys. What would be the first step here? What would you guys say? Add both. Yeah, add 5 to what? Both sides. So after we added 5 to both sides, what would we do? Divide by? Divide by 2. Very good. Then after we divide by 2, what's going to happen? Take the square root of both sides. Boom. All right. And then I think that's it. Those are the 3. Oh, wait. No. There's one more. No. We already added 5. We divided by 2. Oh, wait. What's inside of it? We have to subtract 2 from both sides. You're like, what the heck is going on? So right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these steps that go with this problem. So I'm going to move over here. So for students who are watching the video, it's going to be very, very easy. See where it says, I'm going to rewrite my problem right over here. 2 parentheses x plus 2 close parentheses squared minus 5. And what's that all equal to? 93. What did we say step number 1 was? Add what? Add 5 to both sides. So watch. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Okay? So here's what you're left with. 2 parentheses x plus 2 squared equals, over here I'm going to put a 98. What was step number 2? Yeah. We're going to divide this side, and we're going to divide this side by a 2. So those cancel out. So here we go. We got x plus 2 squared equals 49. Then what are we going to do on step number 3? Take the square root of both sides. Okay. We're just verbalizing. All you guys are doing is basically verbalizing the steps. So when we take the square root of both sides, what do we have left? X plus 2 equals, now what are we going to put over here? Not just a 7. Plus or minus 7. And what's the final and the very last step? Take away 2 from this side and take away 2 from this side. Now, it didn't even ask us for our solutions, did they? Now, if you wanted to know our solutions would be 7 minus 2, and the other solution would be negative 7 minus 2. That's where the plus or minus comes in. You got plus 7 minus 2 and negative 7 minus 2. So our actual solutions, which you don't need to know for this problem, are x equals 5 and x equals negative 9. So as a solution set, if you're just learning and wanting to know how to write it as a solution set, that's how you would write it as a solution set. But on this one, what do you guys get to do? Just simply do what? Create a list of steps in order that will solve the following equation. And so these list of steps matched what I did over here. All right. So on this one, there's less steps. What would you guys think the very first step would be if you were doing? Yeah, divide both sides by 3, right? Divide by 3. Bing. Now, after I divide by 3, you're left with this square, this x plus 1 squared. So what do we got to do to both sides? Take the square root. Good. So after we take the square root, what's inside the parentheses? A positive 1. So what are we going to do to both sides? Subtract 1 from both sides. There's just 3 steps on that one. Okay? Ooh, here. Like, just a couple, 3 steps as well. What's the first step right here? Divide both sides by 3. Okay. Now, what are you going to do after you divide? We're left with this parentheses being squared. Take the square root of both sides. And last but not least, if you have a plus 2, what do you have to do? Subtract 2 from both sides. Okay. Now, I realize I did those kind of fast right there, so I'm going to do one more slow one. Okay? One more slow one. I know I get a little excited there. So we'll do one more slow one. If it'll let me. There we go. One more slow one. So the very first thing I would do on this problem, if you got the gist, you don't have to pay attention to me anymore. You can go and get started. But if you're still going, what the heck are you doing? Just do one more with me and see if this makes sense. If I was to solve this by myself without anybody assisting me, the very first thing I would do is I would take away 4 from both sides. That would be my step 1. So step 1, I'm going to find take away 4, subtract 4 from both. So here's my step 1 right there. Take away 4 from both sides. Then, after I do that, I'm going to get 125 from 129 minus 4. My next step is I'm going to divide both sides by the number 5. So that's step 2. Divide both sides by 5. So that's my second step. Okay. So when I'm left, here's what I'm left with. X minus 3 squared equals 25, because 125 divided by 5 is 25. Then I get to take what's known as the square root of both sides. So I got to take the square root. So here goes step number 3. Take the square root of both sides. And here's what you're left with. X minus 3 equals plus or minus 5. So x minus 3 equals plus or minus 5. And my last and very final step is I would add 3 to this side, and I would add 3 to this side. So I've got to find add 3 to both sides. There's my step number 4. So I would have x equals plus or minus 5 plus 3. So what would be my two answers? 5 plus 3 is 8. And negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. So as a solution set, if they told me to write it as a solution set, which I totally could, that's how I would write it as a solution set. But right now, all we're doing is what? Order. What's the first step? Subtract 4 from both sides. Second step, divide both sides by 5. Third step, take the square root of both sides. Fourth step, add 3 to both sides. And that's it. It's like taking candy from a baby, which you shouldn't do. Okay, that's not right, but it's really easy. So subtract 4 from both sides, divide both sides by 5, take the square root of both sides, and then add 3 to both sides, and voila, I'm done. I'm tired of doing these because they're just too easy. So hopefully this video was helpful, and get your work done. Thank you.